Well, I just filled the old Fairmont up with some fresh E85 and started misfiring real bad. So I took it down the road real quick and kind of felt it, and it felt like an ignition issue. As you can see, I've got the driver's side coils off. What I believe was happening is I had this plug wire really close. It was smashed up against this booster. My fault. Sometimes I'm an idiot, but it was just smashed up against there, and it kind of cut the boot. And I think it was arcing through the boot onto the booster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify the coil bracket to where this kind of sits offset a little bit, where it's not close to the booster, and hopefully that'll fix my issues. I've got some tape wrapped around it for now. I'll get another wire for it if this fixes it, and we'll see. We got to get this thing going because tomorrow we're driving in a couple hours to Raleigh, so let's do it. Alright, so I've got this thing marked. I'm going to cut it right there first, and basically I'm going to have it mounted kind of like that. It's going to look weird, but it's not going to look that bad on the car because the booster's in the way. So I'm going to mount it with one bolt there, and then I'm going to rib nut it, hopefully down at the bottom if I can get the hole right. So shouldn't be too hard, but it's definitely necessary. So let's give it a shot. Alright, here's the finished product. Doesn't look too terrible, but got plenty of clearance between the booster, so see if our misfire is gone. Just going for a little test drive. Seems like it's fixed. Also put it back on the 85. The boost is turned back up, so the roads are kind of wet, so I can't really lay into it, but it's a fun little car. Just glad the misfire is gone, and we can still drive this thing tomorrow. Well, the Fairmont made it there and back. About a 4-hour round trip. Did good. No issues at all. Beat on it a little bit. Stephanie ended up running a S550 on I-40 and scared me to death because I turned the car back up and we were just painting stripes at like 100 miles an hour, allegedly 100 miles an hour. And yeah, so she was not expecting that, and neither was I, but car is doing good, and yeah. But later today, I'm gonna go check out Dan Moore. Sent me a damn you, Dan, but he sent me a trailer that will be perfect for drag week or some kind of drag and drive event. And as you know, on the RX-7, I've got a, well, you may not know, I put a trailer hitch on the RX-7, so it'd be perfect for that. Or if we decide to take the Fairmont, I think we're going to try to do one, me and Stephanie, sometime this year. whether it be drag week or whatever. But I'm gonna go take a look at it and see what it looks like, and might end up picking it up. But it's pretty cheap. I'll put the ad screenshot in the video, and we'll go look at it. I'm meeting the guy at 2 o'clock today, and we'll see. Well, just picked up this trailer, and looks like it's gonna be pretty perfect for what I'm gonna do with it. It looks like it'll go pretty level with that hitch right there, and everything. So I'm gonna try to build me, probably come off of here and build me some racks to hang the slicks on. And it's got a key, you can lock it up and everything. So it's a pretty cool little trailer. It's got some lights. The lights are kind of broken. I'm not sure if they work, but it's got a plug on it and everything. So maybe I can get them to work and everything. But honestly, it was worth the material. Was probably worth what I paid for the whole thing. So pretty cool. Well, looks like I got a special delivery on some heads. Let's open them up. Finally came in. So these are Liberty Performance components. They sell rotating assemblies and stuff like that, and they have a decent amount of stuff for the LS. And I think their LS3 style heads are pretty popular, but I bought the Cathedral Port LS1 style heads just to see what they were about. You can get them for about 1,100 bucks. They're as cast. I think they're 220s, I believe, intake side. So let me get them out of the box here. They look pretty good so far. So here's what I guess this LPH LS1 is the part number on these. Like I said, you can get them for about 1,100 bucks. I have a stock 243 casting head over here. We can compare it to, just so you see. I bought them just hoping that they had a little thicker deck surface than the factory heads do, so it would hold a head gasket in better. I know on to trick flow as cast and stuff, this edge right here is really defined and it's a lot taller than looks like these are, but hopefully they're a little bit better. It looks like on the bottom here where the push rods go through, there's a lot more beef in there because these are all open cast. And I looked at a guy's review on the LS3 heads, and he had the valves out and everything, and it looked like they were pretty nice inside of there, just the way the chambers flowed. But it's really not bad for a budget head. The only thing is the valve springs that come in them are a single beehive, so you'll have to change those out. I'm just going to pull my BTR springs off of here, put them on here. And other than that, I couldn't find the trick flows in stock anywhere, the Ascast 220. So I ordered these guys, figured I would try it. I kind of like doing the budget style stuff anyways, just to see what I can do on a lower budget. But the major thing is these do not have freeze plugs like the factory heads, so you don't have to worry about blowing freeze plug out and getting coolant under your tires and hitting the wall, and that in itself isn't worth the money in my opinion. They make the block off plates, but with the way my brackets are, you can see where my brackets bolt up. The block off plates, I actually have one over here. I'll show you. So here is one of the block off plates that ICT Billet sells. Motion Raceworks sells them, but they're only like a single bolt. But they go on there like that and hold it in. And I can't run these because, like I said, my brackets are right where those bolt up. So I could only put them on the back, so they could blow out of the front just as easy as they can out the back. But anyways, they look pretty good so far. I'm going to work this weekend a little bit, trying to get the heads on the motor, and I'm going to clean up the engine bay on the car a little bit and try to get it ready. For when I get the motor ready, I can just go ahead and drop everything in. I got a few more things to wait on to come in. I got a push rod length checker, so I can make sure that these don't need a different length push rod. I'm not sure if they do. I haven't been able to find anybody when I'm searching that runs these heads, but I guess I'll be the guinea pig and see how they work. Like I said, I got a push rod length checker. I can put everything on the car. I'll probably swap the springs while the heads are bolted on the engine here, and then go from there. Check the push rod height that I need. It would be sweet if I could use a factory length, the 7.4 push rods like I already have, but I probably won't get that lucky. But anyways, we'll see how that does, and we'll go from there. Well, pro tip, you want to chase all your threads for your head stuff. So what I usually do is I get a head bolt, and you can buy a thread chaser, but why would you do that when you can just get a factory head bolt and just cut a little groove in it like that, and then you run it in and out of the block, and any crud that's down in the holes, it'll show up on this thread chaser. It'll be in there, and you can clean it out and do it a couple more times or move on to the next one. But I've got the block pretty clean as far as the threads go. Yeah, there's not really much in this block, so I'm gonna keep going with this, and got the water pump getting painted. Just little stuff like that I like to do. That takes me a little bit. I could just slap this thing together and have it back on the road pretty quick, but I'm gonna take my time and make it look pretty good. I gotta change the timing cover out, and I got a timing pointer I got from Motion Raceworks to verify timing. So I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna mark top dead center number 1 using a dial indicator before I put it all back together, or at least before I put the heads on it, so I can verify timing and know exactly where it's at according to the ECU. But it's coming right along. I didn't film a lot of this, but pretty much got the engine back together. I still got a few things. Got to put the oil pan back on, and then I got to put a rear main seal and rear cover plate on here when I get it off the stand. But I did a lot of little stuff, like I painted the manifolds again. I took all these ICT billet brackets and polished them back up and cleaned them up, and painted the water pump, and just little stuff like that. Makes a difference when it gets back in the car. Looks a lot better after you do stuff like that. I even polished the radiator over here and the charge pipes. So there's the radiator and a couple of the charge pipes there. But yep, it's coming along, and I'm gonna wait on I got a crank bolt coming in from Summit, new crank bolt, and I'm gonna put that on and all that stuff and get the engine pretty much 100% ready to go. The only thing about these heads is I've got to change the valve springs out, like I said, so I got to swap them out, and then I'm waiting on a push rod length checker that I'll put in here and verify that I have the correct length push rods in here. And once I get that straight, I'll be good. I put a put my timing pointer on there. I put the dial indicator that's right there. I mounted it to the block and got the piston in exactly top dead center on number 1, marked the balancer, and put the timing pointer on there. So now I have that, and I can verify the timing in the computer to exactly where it's at. And yeah, it's coming along. Got the engine bay all cleaned up, repainted all the rack and the frame rails and everything. Polished up the paint as best I could for it being paint from 1987. It's not too bad, as much wrenching as I've done on this car in the past. But yep, looking good, ready for the engine to go back in it and everything. So that's pretty much all I can do for right now until we get some more parts in. Well, I guess I'm at a good stopping point here. I got like you saw, the engine bay all cleaned up, ready to go. And as far as the engine goes, I am waiting on some parts for this thing. These heads have a bronze valve guide, and my spring locators for my springs that I took out of the old heads, they won't work because they won't slide over the valve guides. So I ordered some new ones. It's always something when you're putting together something with aftermarket stuff for the first time, but I did not take that into account whenever I ordered these things, or else I would have had them here already. But that's how it goes. Whenever they come in, I'll be able to put this thing all the way together and drop it in the car. And by next video, it will be running and driving, and everything should be good. I got the rear main seal and all that stuff put in, so I just need to put the clutch back on it and then get this top part put together with the springs and everything and drop it in the car. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Appreciate you watching.